Last night they lose to Shohei Ohtani and the Angels 4-1. All 4 runs coming in the bottom of the 6th inning for the Los Angeles, Anaheim, California, Los Angeles of Anaheim Angels.
The Disneyland
Angels. Angels in the outfield or whatever it is. But Mike Moustakas with a bomb off of Tristan Beck. That was an absolute blast. The play before, Jock Peterson tried to get the ball in left field was just kind of comical. And the Giants lose. And look, they're going to go with the opener. This is their method. Manaea pitched well. You go to Tristan Beck. He gives up 3 runs in the final 3 innings. It's just the way they're going to play baseball, Shasky. And as we say good morning to everybody out there on the Xfinity mobile text line, First NorCal Credit Union, of course, sponsoring us on YouTube and Twitch. I just sent out a simple tweet yesterday, and
what's that?
I think you feel me on this one, too. They're winning. They're above 500. 9 games above 500 before hosting the Texas Rangers for a 3-game set Friday, Saturday, Sunday with Bruce Bochy coming back to town. But Shasky, I just wonder, man, how engaging this style of baseball is. How, like we're watching it, and we know a platoon is coming. We know the opener is coming. We know we're going to see some bridge to the back-end bullpen guys, the Rogers brothers and Doval. So you may get a little Stripling. You may get a little Manaea. You may get some Tristan Beck. I just wonder how engaging this style of play is. Like, we talked all, about Jimmy Garoppolo, the 49ers. Like, oh, man, it's a paper cut. 1,000 paper cuts. They're just going down the field, 16. We want some quick strikes, blah, blah, blah. And we got that with Brock Purdy and company. When Brock Purdy got onto the field, this offense went to another level. But I just wonder with the Giants, man, just how engaging that brand of baseball is. Are people really thrilled? Or do all they care about is winning? If winning is it, and they're winning, they have 62 wins, then you know what? Fine, be it. You'll live with it. But I just wonder how many people are engaged with this style of baseball, man, because I don't find it appealing at all.
Well, I think it's an interesting question. I think a lot of people agree with you on that. And there's layers to this one. Like, there really is. Like, I think that I look at the Warriors, right? And you're talking about, like, winning's all that matters. Well, they won last year, right? They won more games than they lost last year. But we could feel it was, like, off. Yeah. It was a note off all year.
Grind, right?
Now, because you have Steph Curry, because you have Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and even Jordan Poole to a degree, people passionately care about those people.
Right.
And so there's an intrigue baked in to the product. But wouldn't you agree, there were times throughout the regular season, it felt like the Warrior fan was not because of their viewership. I'm just saying they were very frustrated. They were rejecting that brand of basketball because they could sense it wasn't the joy that they find to be the gold standard of watching Warrior basketball. Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
There's a free-flowing nature to the way they play. If the Warriors today decided they were going to run the James Harden offense all year, I don't know how many Warrior fans would love that. Even if it highlighted how great Steph Curry was,
right.
I think that brand of basketball has been thoroughly rejected by this fan base.
Especially with the brand of basketball they played before last season. The joy, the passes, the beautiful execution, the high IQ basketball play. Guys playing off the basketball. Everybody touching the basketball. Over 300 passes per game, which is what they want. That coaching staff wants. So, yeah, it was a big difference. It felt constipated at times.
It did. And so, like, I was trying to use a compare and contrast because I look at the Giants and, I think a lot of fans are like, all you and Bonte want stars. All you and certain people want stars. I just care about winning. Well, I think you have to appeal to your entire fan base, not just small segments of them. I do believe certain fan bases want to win, but they want to win their way.
Right.
Like, for example, I'm going to give you an example here. I remember when Mike Nolan came over, and Mike Nolan says, we're going to be Baltimore West. And Niner fans were dying to just win.
Right.
But we all were like, yeah, we're a passing organization.
Right.
Like, I've watched passing for the last 40 years. Right. I want to see the West Coast offense. I want to see offenses that could score.
Right.
No, I love to have a great defense.
Right.
I think a misnomer of the West Coast time when Bill Walsh took over was that every time they won it all, they had a top 10 defense.
Well, it's funny because I think that's why a lot of people failed to appeal with Mariucci. Steve Mariucci was so polarizing because think about the way they played. They played I formation, and they interchanged running backs. Garrison Hurst, Kevin Barlow, and I think a lot of people were like, we like to just air it out. And there was this big misnomer about the 49ers where they would air it out, but they would set up the run by passing the football. And then later in the games, they would run down your throat and bleed the clock out. Mooch was like, look, we're going to play a little Midwest style of football. We're going to be really balanced. And I think that was the first shift in our lifetime with 49er football where it was like, we're running a little more than we're accustomed to.
It's funny you bring that up because, I'm always like, Mooch wasn't that great. And I know you really like Mooch, right? And so I think you're onto something here. So I look at the Giants, right, for example. And I think we make a lot of the opener, and everyone's looking for the most, I would say, profound way to break down the opener.
Right.
And here's what I would say. It's unquantifiable what it does to a team. You could say, and I saw Dan Dibley post this tweet yesterday, and I want to use him as an example, and I mean this with love. Dan's like, hey, they're like 15-8 when they employ the opener this year. And I said, all right, but like, it's bigger than just the game that they're playing that day. So I went back just to the 26th of July.
Right.
They've lost 3 of 4 the day after the opener.
Yep. Makes sense.
Why is that?
Bullpen's taxed. Using a lot of arms. It's a lot of moves you got to make.
It's a lot of pressure on the next guy to take the ball and go deep into a game. I think it puts a lot of pressure on your offense to try to generate runs for a variety of different pitchers. One thing that I don't think people understand about playing sports, when you are driving to the facility and you know exactly, whatever sport it is, what your role is on that given day, it makes it a lot easier to be mentally prepared. And I look at the Giants and it's like they play head games with themselves. Hey, if a righty comes in this situation, even though I told you you're starting in left field, you could be out in the second inning. Guys are on edge. There is a human element to this. And I know we want to be the smartest and we want to be advanced and put people in the best position to succeed. But at the same time, I just feel like we've neglected the human element on a lot of these decisions. And I look at the opener as one of those things. We've rejected it as a fan base. And I think a lot of the players, even if they are having success individually, like Manaea.
They've told you. They don't really like their role. They don't really enjoy
Manaea wanted to come
out
of that game yesterday?
No, hell no. Manaea was dealing. It was one of his best performances.
Now, he doesn't have a leg to stand on because it's Sean Manaea. But at the same time, there's a human element to that.
But I look at it like this. Just think about this. Game 5. Dodgers-Giants. The Dodgers decide, you know what?
Oh, dude.
We're going to screw with the Giants.
It's a great example.
We're going to start Knievel.
Instead of Urias.
Now, Urias came in basically in the third inning. Started the third inning, gave you four innings, 3 hits, 1 run. They went opener the first 2 innings, but they knew that the Giants would overreact. And what did the Giants do? They start Tommy La Stella at second base. Boom, you pitch hit Solano the next at-bat. So, La Stella, you already burned a player, although we're not the biggest fans of Tommy La Stella.
In Game 5.
But in Game 5, you already burned a player after 1 at-bat. Right? You burned Mike Yastrzemski after 1 at-bat in that game. So now, if you do get deeper into the baseball game, you don't have a La Stella. You don't have a Yastrzemski.
You're limiting your options.
You pitch hit Lamont Wade Jr. You pitch hit all these guys, and it's just like, by the end of the game, you got no bodies. So that was just a perfect example. It's like, wait, we're going to overreact off the Dodgers throwing an opener? Let me just run my lineup out.
Well, it's funny that you say that because Sam Lubman, we were talking about this, and Sam goes, well, isn't that the byproduct of moderate baseball? And I go, well, wait a minute, Sam. Bonte and I just had like a 5-minute conversation yesterday. The Atlanta Braves lineup is pretty locked in stone. The Houston Astros lineup is pretty locked in stone.
Texas?
Yeah, the teams that are great right now
are locked in stone. 1 through 5, 1 through 6. We've been talking about this for weeks.
Exactly.
For weeks.
And I go back to this one. It's like Jock Peterson's a good example. And I think that we've used Jock as kind of a laughing point, but there's a reason. Jock made a nice throw the other day. How many misplayed balls in left field has Jock Peterson committed this year?
The one yesterday, like he comes up like he's about to throw somebody out, and he just mismanages the ball. It's like, what is going on?
And what happened on the next at-bat?
3-run bomb.
So that's a great example of one play bleeding into another. As we talk about the opener, one day bleeding into another. Like it's almost unquantifiable the layers of impact you have on a team when you're making all of these little decisions. I just think we're overanalyzing every little thing.
It's just not an appealing. Like you want to see a guy, you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see this guy make 4 plate appearances. And you just don't know if that guy's going to do that day.
They took out Marco Luciano. I lost my mind. It's Marco Luciano's debut. He got 2 at-bats, and they took him out.
Took him out the game.
Oh, by the way, but AJ Pollock, the acquisition, they put him on the oblique. I don't believe that one
Left
second. Thank
oblique
God you
strain.
acquired him, right?
When they brought back up Helio Ramos, who's wearing number 12.
Here was my entire point to begin with. Why are you acquiring AJ Pollock when you could have just brought up Elliot Ramos?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me. I'm struggling with that one.
Yeah,
I'm struggling. I'm struggling trying to get emotionally attached to the Giants. I was telling Spadoni this last week, and maybe I told you this, but for the first time in my life, I feel emotionally detached from the Giants.
Like you don't have that connection.
Like the last 3 years, for example.
Yeah.
I don't run to the TV knowing that first pitch is coming out.
I know.
I used to run to the TV making sure that everything is straight. House in order, trash is taken out, dinner's done, wash the dishes, 6:38, boom. We're locked in on the Giants. I casually watch now. I casually watch and I rewind and I don't mind pausing and I go back and then we went for a walk and I just put the game on in my headphones because I don't know who's going to be in the lineup every day. I don't have homegrown stars playing on this roster.
Who's your favorite player? I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Just on the Giants?
Right now.
In baseball in general.
No, on the Giants.
Don't really have one. I
That
don't really have one.
Go back to your youth. You always had a guy that you
we were talking about Kevin
to.
Mitchell yesterday, hit the 47 home runs.
Yeah.
You had Matt Williams. You had Jeff Kitt. You had Barry Bonds. You had Richard Aurelia hitting 37 in the season.
Yeah.
You had guys.
I know.
You know, we talk about the World Series teams. You had guys. But like even Matos, I want to wrap my arms around him, and it feels like the baseball team isn't. He's batting ninth.
I know.
And he's just kind of lost. He looks like a lost puppy out there at times.
Well, the young guy, every time he comes up to at bat, he's in the dugout. He's like, "Are you going to pinch hit for me here? Are you going to Slates?
They're all looking back.
Are you going to Slates
They're
here?
all looking over their shoulders.